Marina with another live stream show. Thanks for tuning in tonight and hanging out with us, guys. Appreciate everybody who joined us tonight on this Sunday night, September 18th. Congratulations for joining the best fishing show on the internet on Sunday nights, and appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Want to give a shout out to those sending stars. Larry White with 500, Stephen Batchelor, Jim Evans, Richard Blasak, Todd Stutzman, appreciate y'all, Tony Barnes. Thank you guys for sending stars, always a huge help and a big support to our live stream show. Tim Dykes with 600, thank you, buddy. Also, special shout out to our friends over at Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive, South in St. Petersburg. They make this show possible along with you guys sending stars and, of course, our supporters in our Hubbard's Marina supporters group. Big shout out to those men and women of the Hubbard's Marina supporters group. Philip Kavanaugh and Richard Fonzo, appreciate those stars. Thank you so much, y'all. So really excited about tonight's show, and hopefully you are too. Got a great show lined up for you guys, and looking forward to answering some questions, talking fishing, and hanging out. Scott Flynn, thank you for those stars as well. Had a great time at Bass Pro Shops today with our Bass Pro Shops fishing conversation. Had a really good time this past Tuesday with the Old Salts Fishing Club with our Old Salts fishing conversation. If you made it out for that, it was pretty epic. It was a good time. So great week with a lot of good fishing events, and I'm excited. This is a very exciting time of year. We are on the eve of one of my favorite times of year. We'll talk more about that tonight during the show. And, of course, we're going to show you some photos of what we've been catching, talk a little bit about what's coming up, and answer your questions live during the show. But, of course, we're going to give away a lot of free stuff. If you want to win some free stuff, you do have to comment one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. So go over there to facebook.com, find the Hubbard's Marina live stream, comment at least something, anything at all, one time. That enters you for a chance to win. You can watch on YouTube. You can watch on the Captain Dylan Hubbard Facebook page, the Real Animals Facebook page. Any of our many Facebook pages we're streaming to, YouTube, Trovo, Twitch, wherever you want to watch is fine. But in order to be eligible to win, you have to comment at least one time, like the video for us as well, and don't forget to share it to your favorite fishing club. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Trovo and Twitch, and that is all super helpful as well. John Bull, appreciate those 200 stars, buddy. Thank you so much. Jim Evans again, Nick Wyatt, thank you all for the stars. Super supportive and helpful. And for those of you watching on YouTube, on Trovo, on Twitch, or one of our different Facebook pages, the stars are a way that you can send your support through the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. It only works on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream, so if you're watching on the Captain Dylan Hubbard page, on the Real Animals page, actually you can send stars on the Real Animals page, but any of the other ones you can't send stars through, so that's why you're only seeing them on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. Billy Murray with 700 stars. Thank you so much, Billy. Really appreciate it. Also, again, a special shout out to our supporters. If you're not a supporter, think about joining. It's a really cool way to get some behind-the-scenes information and a little bit more connectivity, and just all around a great time. If you're not a supporter, think about it, because you get a lot of behind-the-scenes info, you get a little bit more connectivity, you get a little bit of advanced knowledge, and kind of a great way to connect, and that's done through the Facebook page right at the top of our Hubbard's Marina Facebook page. You can click Become a Supporter or hit some of the links we're dropping in the chat now. We do have a supporters after show. After every live show, we have the supporters after show, which is worth the $4.99 a month it costs to be a supporter in and of itself. But you also, besides that, get a lot of behind-the-scenes info, more connectivity, and advance notice on some stuff. And it's just all around a good time in the supporters group. Don't forget, again, comment, tell us where you're watching from. Don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, Trovo, Twitch, like our Facebook page. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram. D Beers with 1,000 stars. Thank you so much, D. Also, guys, again, last time we're going to mention it. If you're watching, you want to win some free trips, you do have to take advantage of the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. Comment at least once, then you have to watch the show live in order to be eligible to win. If your name is picked as one of the lucky winners, you got 5 minutes or less to claim the free trip by texting the phone number at the bottom of the screen there, your full home address within 5 minutes or less. That proves you're watching live, and that allows us to send you the certificate for the free trip you won. So watch live, comment once, pay attention. If you're picked as a lucky winner, you got 5 minutes or less to text us your full home address. Right there on the screen is the phone number. So with that, let's get into some photos. Show you guys what we've been catching, right? So with that, let's see some photos, some inshore photos. We're going to start inshore, and then we're going to work our way nearshore and offshore. We've definitely been seeing a lot of redfish lately. Redfish bite is picking up in a big way. Super concentrated, schooling heavily. Mike Mahoney on the Real Animals Sunday show is talking a lot about the redfish schools that they're already spotting along the beaches. So they're already seeing spawning schools of redfish moving out of the passes, which is very early. We're seeing a lot of schooling redfish around the passes at the entrance to the bays and estuaries. It's a good time to find those schooling, super hungry and aggressive redfish. Still flats, mangrove shorelines, oyster bars, dock lines, good areas to look for them. But you find the schools out there on the flats for sure. We're seeing a lot of redfish throughout the entire region, basically. The redfish bite is extremely hot. Snook are still loaded up on in the passes. This morning, you could almost walk across the snook in Johns Pass, but they were not cooperative. Absolutely super frustrated this morning. I took a net full of shrimp at one point and tossed them out there, and the snook wouldn't even turn their heads. They were just totally uninterested. Even at prime time, major salooner, they weren't really feeding. But they're stacked up if you can get them to chew. We are still seeing some snook on the beaches. We're still seeing a few people catch them in the passes. But a lot of those snook are starting to move into those staging areas on their way to their wintertime haunts. Haunts was the word I was looking for. So snook are on the move to wrap that one up. Adam Franklin, appreciate those 500 stars, buddy. Thank you so much. There's another nice big snook. This gentleman was actually watching our Fox 13 report and caught this nice big 37-inch snook on cut bait after watching the Fox 13 report and taking some advice from the report. So super cool to see people are enjoying it and getting some information out of it. So as always, reminder, shameless plug for that Fox 13 report for our live stream show. You can always submit your photos. If you're not fishing with us, you're fishing inshore with a buddy, you're fishing from a seawall, jetty, bridge, pier, whatever. If it's locally caught and it's very recent, you can always send in your photos. You can text us at that phone number right over there. You can text us your photo right to that phone number, the same one you text in your questions or your full home address. If you're picked as one of the lucky winners, you can text that phone number your recent locally caught fish, and we'll feature them on our Fox 13 Reports Friday and in our Sunday night live stream show. Trout action going well on the deeper flats, edges of the shallower flats, soft plastics, white bait, even small pinfish, good options for those trout. A little bit picky, a little bit few and far between, but we are still seeing a pretty good number of the trout. Craig Robinson, appreciate those stars, buddy. Thank you so much for sending some support. Now, let's work our way nearshore and offshore. See what we're seeing nearshore and offshore. Brian Eakins, appreciate those stars on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. Thank you, buddy. Nice gag from the 10-hour all day the other day. The 10-hour all day on the hub right now is catching some pretty darn quality fish. Occasionally some big gag grouper. They're seeing some nice hogfish, mangrove snapper, lane snapper, plentiful smaller good eating fish. The hub's doing pretty darn well out there on those 10-hour trips. Jason Richmond, Robert Bush, appreciate those stars. Thank you guys. Also, besides the occasional gag, some nice hogfish. Now, this hogfish right here, I don't know if you can see that, but we'll make sure you do. That's one of the Hubbard's Marina lures in that hogfish's mouth. That's the Rogge's Rig banana jig. This is Fritz, one of our Regulars Club members who fishes quite often. Captain Pete working the deck. Captain James driving the boat. Caught themselves a few nice big hogfish the other day. And look at that. The banana jig got itself a nice hog. So the banana jig is taking off, and we're looking forward to those hogfish getting thicker and thicker and more prolific. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit. Part of the reason I'm excited for this time of year, another nice hogfish from the 10-hour the other day. We're definitely seeing the hogfish bite improve. You can see here, this was one of the hub private charters the other night. Solid mangrove snapper catch, another keeper hogfish. Mangrove bite has been steady near shore. Offshore, still some nice big old mangrove snapper. Today's Flying Hub 2 trip, unfortunately, I don't have the photos from it because they just got in an hour and a half or so ago, and we'll have those for next week's live stream show. But they did really well out there today on the Flying Hub 2. Caught a limit of the triggerfish, nearly a boat limit of nice big vermilion snapper, and something like 40 mangrove snapper. So another killer 12-hour extreme trip today. I believe they got some grouper too, but unfortunately I lost Captain Rich before I was able to get the full update. But they crushed them out there on the Flying Hub 2 today. Deep water bites hot. Nearshore bites going well. It's a good time to get out here. Now let's see. We've got some other photos, some dry dock updates to show you. The Florida Fisherman 2 made it safely up to Tarpon Springs, stripped of its artwork and stickers, and is out of the water and is getting a lot of loving, a lot of TLC. We're going to sand down the entire outside of that vessel and completely repaint it, freshen up the paint, freshen up the coat, and we're going to spend a lot of time, energy, and money below the deck where you won't ever know or notice on our generators being replaced fully. A lot of work to the engines. We're replacing all the plumbing. And then we're also going to be working on our bathrooms and improving the shower situation, and then adding some drainage to the bathroom to improve the water situation in there, and just overall make it more creature comforting and hopefully more accommodating to more people, and hopefully make everything function a lot better, a lot smoother. That's the goal with the time, energy, and money being spent in dry dock right now. We just went through Coast Guard inspection 3 days ago on the Florida Fisherman and passed glowingly with a very quick speed. So we were very, very happy about that and impressed, to be honest. We have a great team that we're able to fly through Coast Guard inspection without issue. And now we're just working on our work list for dry dock and getting that boat nice and pretty and ready to rock and roll yet again for another beautiful year ahead. Someone asked about nearshore and offshore depths. Whenever I say inshore, that basically means from the beach through the inshore back bay areas. Whenever I say nearshore, it's from the beach out to 100 foot of water or 20 miles-ish. And then when I say offshore, it's beyond 100 foot, beyond 20 miles. So 100 foot plus, 20 miles plus, and nearshore is around 20 miles to the beach, or from the beach out to about 20 miles, or from around 20, 30 foot of water up to about 100 foot. So definitely excited to see a lot of work being done to the Florida, a lot of time, energy, and money being spent there. But those boats work really, really hard, and we understand things can get worn down over time and issues can arise. And we had a problem through this summer specifically with some issues of drainage, and that was all in account of adding some ice. We were catching a lot of fish and needing some extra ice, and because of that, it kind of threw off the balance of the boat and the drainage. So we're adding some drainage, improving some things, improving some plumbing, and sorry we catch a lot of fish and bring a lot of ice, but it's a good problem to have, and now we're solving problems. So when we run into problems, we solve them. We just need time to do it. So luckily, red snapper season is over, and we got time to fix some of these issues, and we're looking forward to another great year. So with that, we talked a little bit about our photos, what we're catching. Let's show you guys a little bit about the weather. Then we're going to talk quickly about some events coming up. Then we're going to get into some of our announcements and answer your questions. If you do have a question that you want answered live, remember to text us at the phone number on the bottom of the screen. So with that, let's get into some weather, show you guys a little bit about the weather coming up. Go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, scroll down to the weather links page. You can always check this out on your own time whenever you want. On our weather links page, I'm going to start right over here on the wind finder forecast and click the 5 and 10 hour forecast area. Just a quick overall glance at the graph here. You can see the next few days really, really calm, moderate winds with it picking up a little bit through the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and then we get a little bit of a higher wind around the 24th, 25th. So let's investigate. Right now, very moderate winds, not a lot of rain chance, 1 foot or less. Beautiful. Rain chance goes up a little bit Tuesday, but not much. Those are light rains, less than 1 foot, less than 10 miles an hour wind. It rains a little bit through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, but overall very moderate winds, very nice sea conditions. Rain chance clears up Thursday and Friday. Wind picks up a little bit, but not too bad. Then we get into what looks like an east wind pattern for the weekend, the 24th and 25th. East wind picks up, and it will get a little bit bumpy there offshore. Inshore, because it's an east wind, the state protects us, and it really doesn't get too bumpy close to shore. But with a 15, 20 mile an hour wind forecasted, that's going to pick up the offshore waters a little bit. But hopefully not too bad. And right now it looks like a pretty nice week. Let's work our way a little deeper and just double check the offshore report. The offshore report looks moderate through the week. Again, really nice conditions forecasted at least through the week. And then as we get into the weekend, that east wind, like I said, a little bit more bumpy offshore, 2.5, 3 foot over Saturday and Sunday. So that could potentially affect Sunday's 12-hour extreme trip if that forecast holds true. But that's just about it. Won't affect really anything else because that's not too strong of a wind. We're not really going to look past the 25th because really, really useless to look too far in advance this time of year as weather can change drastically. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the weather links page and click spaghettimodels.com, our good buddy over at Mike's weather page, his website. And at the top of the Mike's weather page site, right behind the Salt Strong logo there, you'll see Tropical Tidbits link. we're going to pop over to Levi's site, and we're going to look at forecast models, and I want to show you this for a reason, guys. We're going to go over to regions. We're going to pick North Atlantic. We're going to run the GFS model, and so this is Fiona down here. Nice big old storm. Fiona knocked out power. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the entire island, again, the entire island of Puerto Rico is without power. There is not one single person on the entire island of Puerto Rico without power. That is pretty crazy right now. That just happened because of this storm. The storm, as always, the worst weather of a tropical system is always on the northeast quadrant. So the northeast quadrant is always the worst weather, and it made landfall with the southwest corner of Puerto Rico, which means the northeast quadrant, the whole northeast quadrant, literally sat on Puerto Rico as the storm strengthened, and it totally really wreaked havoc on Puerto Rico. So Fiona will miss us, but it's definitely rained down some serious damage to Puerto Rico, and now it's moving on to Dominican Republic. But you can see here it just totally strafes out of our way. But here is the cause of our east wind and our higher forecasted weather for the 24th and 25th. That is a tail, nice little tail of that storm. Swooping down into central West Florida, and that's what's creating the east wind, this high pressure ridge pushing on this low pressure ridge. This high pressure is what made this storm miss us, pushed it north. This high pressure, that low skated between them, but that frontal boundary is going to be what causes that potential for increased winds later this week into the weekend. So not a lot of rain, but definitely potential for some rain as we move through there. You can see Florida getting a lot of green over it. And then far advanced forecast. What's that? That's new. That is one of those sneaky ones. Look at that. So we're going to run this back because that's interesting. So this is Fiona. You can see Fiona gets out of the area, then kind of does a loop-de-loo and moves. And then we've got this low pressure that sweeps down, as low pressures do, and causes probably some potential snow in the northeast. That low pressure, which is just a cold front, has a tail being pushed by that high pressure. That low pressure tail hangs out in the Gulf. And what happens? It breaks off from the main low pressure, and it sits over the Gulf too long, and the tail starts to gain some formation, get some serious storms, and pops out a little low. That's 1,000 millibars right there, 1,004 millibars. That's a potential tropical depression. What's that? October 1st. So that's 14 days away. So really not even worth talking about too much. 2 weeks out, that's pretty much useless, but pretty interesting. This is the time of year that we're in. We are not out of the woods yet. A lot of people talking about, we didn't get a tropical system or we didn't get a hurricane this year. We are still a long way from the end of hurricane season. Remember, it runs all the way through the month of October, I believe. I think through the month of October. Yeah, I think it ends October 31st. But historically, we've had some really strong storms, even as late as mid-October. So I wouldn't start counting your chickens before they hatch until we're at least halfway through the October period. And that right there was October 1st potential for developing right on top of us. So something else for us to watch and nerd out over. And yes, I realize I'm a weather nerd. Josh, you didn't have to like that comment. I saw that. But it's all good. It's all good. Let's see here. We talked a little bit about what we're catching now. We showed you some photos. We went into the weather report. It is just about that time to answer some questions. Remember, if you have a question that you want answered live during the show, text us at that phone number right there on the screen, and we'll answer your question live during the show. If you don't text in your question, if you just type it in the comment, likely we're not going to see it because the comments go really, really quickly. But we are going to get into your questions very shortly, and before we do, it's time to give away our first free trip of the night. We're going to give away a 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. Let's see who won our 10-hour trip for 2 guests. Lucky winner is David Munoz. Congratulations, David Munoz from Lakeland, Florida. A local and a dude. Last time it was all ladies, but David Munoz got us kicked off right from Lakeland. And congratulations, David. We still got a 5-hour half day for 2 guests, 39-hour trip for 1 guest, and our Salinity Gear gift pack to give away. So still got some time. You could still win plenty of free trips. Let's see here. Want to get into your questions, but first want to give a shout out to some upcoming events. Our next upcoming event is October 11th. We've got the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation again at Bartow Ford coming up October 11th, 6 p.m. Myself, Captain Mike Anderson, and our good buddy Captain Jeff Page are all going to be out there at Bartow Ford. There's going to be free food, free drinks, and a great time talking fishing. And I'm going to be fresh off a National Marine Fisheries Refish Advisory panel. I got to go to Tampa the morning of October 11th and sit in a fisheries meeting from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. and then rush my way out to Bartow and hopefully make it there right on time for Jeff Page getting started for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. As always, there's lots of free stuff to give away. Bull Bay rods, Engel coolers, Real Animal swag. There's free food from Silver Ring Cafe. It's going to be a great time. Captain Jeff Page is an awesome guest, so don't miss out. Tuesday, October 11th, 6 p.m. Then that following Sunday, October 16th, is our next Bass Pro Shops Fishing Conversation. October 16th, 2 p.m. And then after that, November 1st, we got our Florida Guides Association annual meeting for Florida guides. And anybody who is a Florida guide who's likely going to join or would like more information or just wants to hang out with other guides and learn about the Guides Association is welcome. So if you're a Florida guide or know one, make sure you tell them about November 1st, 6 p.m. Event over at Gator Gyms. And and we've got January 11th, 7 p.m. at O'Brien's Fishing Club, but that's a little bit far in advance. But next one's coming up, October 11th, Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation, 6 p.m. October 16th, Sunday, 2 p.m. Bass Pro Shop. So hopefully we'll see you out for both of those events. And I think that's all want to tell you why I'm excited. I've teased it a few times and want to mention it is a special time of year right now, folks. We're in lighter load season. So instead of carrying 50, 60 people on half-day trips and 35, 40, 50 people on all-day trips, we are in a unique time of year right now where the kids are back to school, people are out of town. It's just a weird time. The northern folks haven't come down yet. It hasn't started snowing up north, so our northern friends haven't made it down yet for their wintertime stay. We're carrying the next 2 days in a row. We've only got 19 people reserved for the half-day trip. We've got only 6 scheduled for Thursday, 13 scheduled for Friday. We're averaging like 20, 25 people on those 5-hour half days per day. The hogfish are starting back. The mackerel are starting to pick up. We're catching mackerel trolling on those 5-hour half day. We're starting to catch the hogfish. That will only get better. The 10-hour all days are on the hub. We're selling those out. They're pretty well sold out already. If you want to get a chance at some of those 10-hour all day trips, you got to book early and book often, because there's not a lot of opportunities to get out on the hub because they're filling up fast. But if it is not privately chartered, we will potentially add trips. I just looked this week. It is privately chartered every day that we don't have a 10-hour trip scheduled. So I don't have any options to add a 10-hour trip this week. But in the future, moving forward through this dry dock period, if there's potential for adding 10-hour trips in, we will. And then outside of dry dock, talking to Pete and Christine, two of our supporters today at Bass Pro Shops, they had a great idea of continuing these hub 10-hour trips occasionally. We'll open them up to supporters to hop on there at $119. And then if the supporters don't fill it up, we'll open it up to the public. And we'll offer some of these 10-hour all-day trips on the hub at a normal 10-hour price more frequently through the year when the hub isn't chartered. So great idea, Pete and Christine. Like it. I love it. We're going to move forward with that, hit the ground running. So these hub 10-hour trips will continue even outside of dry dock. So excited about that. Something new, unique for sure. Also, want to make sure we talk about the opportunities on the Flying Hub 2. We've still got those 12-hour extreme trips going on, and definitely been seeing some good opportunities to get out there on the Flying Hub 2 12-hour extreme trips. Really, really doing well, catching a lot of fish, and good opportunity to get plenty of good eating fish and catch plenty as well. So looking forward to it, and hopefully excited about plenty more good opportunities on the Flying Hub 2 12-hour extreme trip. So with that, let's see here. I think it's time to answer some questions. So what is our first question? What is the typical wave size that makes you cancel trips? Just curious. So it really depends on the trip. If you're talking about a 12-hour extreme trip, anything around 3.5 foot, we start really, really watching closely and could potentially cancel. Really about 3.5 is the upper range for the Flying Hub 2, just because the boat can handle it and it's plenty safe for the boat, but we really can't make the speed and the distance that we'd like to make. And if we're charging the amount of money we charge for the 12-hour extreme trip, we want to provide a decent product. And if it's 3.5 foot, it starts to make it really challenging to provide the distance and the speed that we want to provide. And then anything above that, it becomes impossible. So the 12-hour extreme is definitely the most weather-sensitive trip that we offer, and has the potential for being canceled the most often because of that weather sensitivity. Whereas something like the 39-hour trip, 6 foot, even 6 to 7 foot really doesn't concern us too much. It's when we start getting forecasts of they're calling 5 to 7 foot for a majority of the trip. That's when we start to really take pause. And then if they're calling for something crazy on our way out or at the middle of the trip, it could potentially give us pause. But if it's like calling 3 to 5 foot and then on the way home it could get 5 to 7, that won't make us cancel a 39-hour trip. It would just prompt us to kind of make sure everybody knows it's going to be a rougher trip. So the more advanced angler trips on the Florida Fisherman, we're a little bit more lenient on. But like, for example, a 10-hour trip, anything above 3.5 or so, it starts to take pause, and anything above 4 plus, we're going to have to cancel a 10-hour trip if we can't keep it close to the beach and be successful on those hogfish. Half-day trips, 4.5, we start to take pause. We start to warn anybody on a half-day trip once it's over 3 foot, just because it's going to be bumpy, and we don't want anybody to get out there and be confused. So those are the rules of thumb. But basically, people are upset when we cancel, and people are upset when we go. When the weather's adverse, if it's safe, if it's doable, we're going to be as upfront, honest, and transparent as possible. But if it's safe, we're not endangering anybody, and we feel we can pull the trip off, we're going to go. And people are going to be upset whether we cancel or upset whether we take them. So if we have people that are willing to go and they don't mind the warning of, hey, it's going to be tougher fishing, the weather's going to be a little bit tough, and here's the weather report, and they say, hey, we want to go, and we got enough people to go, and we feel we can pull the trip off safely, we're going to go. So those rules of thumb are kind of where we start conversations, and then we go from there. So to answer the question, there's no hard and fast, this is the wave height that we cancel a trip in, because it is a very fluid environment. That was funny. Where's the crickets? I was expecting crickets at least, Josh. Was he sleeping over there? You awake, dog? All I can do is try, folks. What is the good mainline strength for gag grouper on the 10-hour? I have 65-pound braid on a new rod and rated for 50 to 130. Holy moly, that is a heavy-duty rod for a 10-hour trip. I would suggest keeping in mind that your reel is your limitation. You could have a rod rated for 200-pound test and have 1,000-pound test on it. If you have a rod that's only a reel that's only rated for 20 pounds of drag, you're really not doing anything. If your rod's rated for 100 pounds and you have 700-pound line, you're not going to break your rod if your reel is only rated for 50 pounds of drag. You got to remember your reel rating, folks. So if your reel has a drag of 40 pounds, you could use a rod that's rated 30 to 50 pounds, and you could put a 100-pound line on it. It's not going to break your rod that's rated for 50 pounds because you have a 100-pound line on it, because your reel is only rated for 40 pounds of drag. A lot of people go too heavy on their rod and lose sensitivity and work with something that's overly heavy and really hinders their ability to feel the bite because they lose sensitivity. It's too heavy. They get fatigued. So you can go with a much lighter rod if you don't have the quality reel with the big drag rating to break your rod. If you have a reel that's rated for 50-pound drag and you've got a 20-pound rated rod, then if you put 30-pound test on that rod, you could potentially break it if you're misusing it, a high sticking, that kind of thing. So keep that in mind. Reel rating is important. But to answer your question, for gag grouper on a 10-hour trip, I would start off with probably 60-pound test and on a 10-hour. And then if the bite's a little tough, then we would recommend potentially backing down a little bit. Are there any other restaurants in the area that prepare fresh caught fish besides the Friendly Fisherman? Well, the Friendly Fisherman is our family's restaurant, so we're always going to recommend that. But yes, there are the Boardwalk Grill in Johns Pass on the boardwalk. Ironically, the Boardwalk Grill is on the boardwalk. They offer to cook up your fresh caught fish. They do a catch and cook. I've heard the Mad Beach Brewing Company does it, but I don't know. Coastal Tacos in Treasure Island, Josh says does that. I didn't know that.
Fish tacos.
Fish tacos, can't beat fish tacos. I like all kinds of tacos. Shrimp tacos, fish tacos. Shrimpy's Blues Bistro and Blinds Pass does it. Conch Republic up in Indian Shores does it. There's some others. I forget off the top of my head, but Gators used to do it. I think Krabby's probably does it. There's a bunch of them around town. Just Google catch and cook or cook your catch. There's a bunch of them for sure. But the big ones in Johns Pass that offer it are Boardwalk Grill and the Friendly Fisherman. There was one other one, but I'm forgetting it. To bleed or not to bleed. Bleeding a fish is always a good idea. It creates better quality meat, but you got to do that once it's in the fish box. Don't bring a fish on the boat and bleed it at your fishing spot and say, oh, Dylan said I could do this. You will have my team will revolt, and we don't want that. So don't upset the captains and crew. Wait till the fish is in the fish box if you're going to bleed them. But you can bleed your fish. Just be careful. What is the good depth for hogfish, and where do they like to hang out? Hogfish like around 30 to about 50 foot, generally in the cooler months. Right now, they're a little deeper. We're finding a lot of them around 40 to 70 foot of water, but they'll shallow up as it cools off, and people stop spearfishing them as much. And they really like smaller ledges, flat, hard bottom, smaller rock piles. Little relief is a good idea for those hogfish, just because any really large relief, they start to get out competed by more aggressive fish. So smaller relief is a good idea for the hogfish. Can you use frozen bait for inshore redfish? You could. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're going to use a dead bait for redfish, I would definitely recommend fresh dead bait like cut threadfin, cut ladyfish, cut mullet, cut pinfish, but I would use fresh cut dead bait over anything else. One person asked, how often do people not claim their trips on the live show winnings? I would say very rarely. I would say 90% of the time people claim their trips. We don't really see it too often where people don't claim their free trips. Someone else said, how many free trips can you win in a year? You can win as many as you want. It's a random name generator. If you watch loyally, you watch the whole show, you're going to have an increased chance of winning. A lot of people will pop into the show and comment once and then pop out, or they'll pop in late and comment once. Remember, we choose people randomly who are watching, but the earlier you're watching in the show, the greater the chance that your name will be chosen. If you pop in late to the show and comment late, the chance that your name is going to be in that random name generator for every drawing is much lower. So the earlier you join, the longer you watch, the greater your chance. And it's random. So you could win a lot. Some people have. We've had multiple times where people have won 2 times, 3 times in a single year. But those are people who watch every show. They tune in at 8:25 when we're starting, and they watch until the show ends. And they comment, they follow all our posts. They don't miss anything, and that gives them a better chance for sure because they're more likely to follow the directions and be watching live and all that good stuff. Like, comment, share, comment, and don't forget to check in with us through the week. And not that it helps, but you really should like us on Instagram, Trovo, Twitch, LinkedIn, Snapchat, TikTok, all those other social media pages, Twitter. Check us out. We tweet a lot.
I turn on the music to start playing you out.
That's what you did. I was wondering why I got quiet. Looking to get a couple slow pitch jigging setups, one for 200 foot and one for deep drop. What would be the best for each scenario? It's really personal preference. Definitely want a higher rated, stronger rod for the deep drop. A lot of people like a shorter rod for the deep drop stuff, and then typically a longer rod if you're party boat fishing, or pretty decent length for the inshore stuff. I use a Temple Reef Nabla Power Zero, Power 1, and I've got a Temple Reef Mythos coming in the mail. Shout out Tristan. Appreciate you, dog. And the good people over at Temple Reef. Temple Reef is what we carry in the shop. We have some must-add slow pitch jigging rods to give us a little bit more options and a little bit lower priced options, but we have a lot of options. We have a full line of Temple Reef. We have the Grand Cru, Project X, Innovate, Levitate, Nabla series. We've got the new Nabla series. We've got the Inline series coming. So we have a lot of different options at Hubbard's Marina for slow pitch rods. So I'd recommend stopping by the shop, chatting. We can show you what we have and what we recommend. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Someone talking smack about my Florida Guides hat. Is the green disappearing? Is that what it is? Like Predator up here? Active camo?
Oh, your Predator cup.
Oh, my Predator cup. It's my hat or my cup. It does have active camo. Look at that. Silver background, silver cup. Yeah, that's what I'm drinking. It's good for you. Disappears in your body. Do you fish on the bottom? The bottom fish we fish for, they live on the bottom, they eat on the bottom. You want to keep your lead on the bottom. So the trick is making sure you're hooking your bait straight so it doesn't spin, making sure that you get a good presentation. You keep your bait on the bottom, tight enough to feel the lead, but not disturb it on the bottom. And then actively fish, constantly move that rod tip with the boat, dance with the boat, if you will. And when you feel that bite, start setting the hook by cranking as fast as you can. If he's not there, stop, drop it right back down to the bottom. You have a good chance at hooking him again. I like this question. Since you have access to all the top slow pitch jigging rods and no sponsorship ties, what is your favorite? Yes, I mean, I'm not accepting sponsorships, but I don't have any. And I really like Ocean's Legacy. They're really great. Temple Reef has been around a really long time, and they're great people. The guys at Johnny's Jigs have a big selection, but they don't have their own rods. Fisherman's Hut down in Bradenton, not down in Brandon, down in Bradenton. Fisherman's Hut has probably, arguably, the biggest selection of slow pitch jigging stuff outside of the Johnny's Jig Shop. Might even be bigger than Johnny's Jig Shop. I'm not sure. I haven't been to either. But they're both really, really good shops. They have a big selection. For me personally, I really like Temple Reef. They've been around a while. They're very established. They have a big line. So I like companies that have been around, have survived the test of time. And in the slow pitch jigging game, there's a lot of really popular brands that are based in other areas or other countries, if you will. And I like the fact that the owner of Temple Reef is very active in the U.S., in Florida, is very active with locals of Florida, and really supports a lot of the guys that are out there on the water doing the slow pitch jigging game and promoting it heavily. So I like Temple Reef for that fact. May not necessarily be all local, may not be made locally, but they're spending a lot of time, energy, and money advertising locally, living locally, and working in our local community. And he's super, super nice. So me personally, I carry in my shop a full line of Temple Reef rods, and I personally fish Temple Reef rods just because I like the way they do business. But there's a lot of really good rods out there for slow pitch jigging. Ocean's Legacy is a great one. Even Daiwa, even Mustad have some really good slow pitch jigging rods. The guys over at Bull Bay rods. They're coming out with the slow pitch jigging rod, which I'm sure will be really, really great too. So there's a lot of slow pitch jigging rods out there. It really just comes down to your rule of thumb, your favorite. Let's see, what other questions do we have? What's your favorite way to prepare grouper? I'm very, very lazy, especially after a long day of fishing. My favorite way to prepare grouper is to take it over to the Friendly Fisherman next door. It's funny because someone just said they don't want to take their fish to the Friendly Fisherman, but I'll give it a shout out. I like going over to the Friendly Fisherman, having my fish cooked and taking it home, or just eating it right there at the dock, enjoying a cocktail on the water, and heading back home, So I like preparing fish at the restaurant. No mess, no muss, no fuss, and makes it easy, and it's very good. But if I'm not cooking it at the restaurant, I'm cooking it at home myself. We're going to show you right on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook page. It's amazing. Josh and I have been doing this together so long. He knows what I'm going to say before I say it. So right under hubbardsmarina.com, fishing trips, scroll down to fishing video links, and then hit the fishing tips and tricks page. Right down here at the fishing tips and tricks page. General tips at the bottom. How to cook your catch. Oh yeah, it's right there. The old Hubbard family secret recipe. I brought in a grill and brought a grill on the dock and prepared some fish up in a very windy condition on the dock using a Hubbard family secret recipe. And I'll give you a hint, don't use anything else but Hellman's mayo. So watch the video, and then you'll get the idea after that. But Hellman's mayo only. Some of the supporters want to be funny and say Duke's mayo or this mayo. It's Hellman's only. Or get out. Let's see. It's time to give away our 5-hour half-day trip for 2 guests. Let's see who won our 5-hour half-day trip for 2 guests. Scott Young from Marion, Wisconsin. Congratulations, Scott Young. We had an all-ladies live show the other week where only ladies won. Now it seemingly is all dudes tonight. Well, 2 of 4 have been all dudes. Still got 2 more to give away, so we'll see. Josh, you mind grabbing me the water over there, buddy? Appreciate it, dog. Let's see what other questions we have. That's fine. If bananas are bad luck, why do you guys carry banana jigs? That's a great question. I would say the banana jigs are more of a joke commentary, and really the whole no bananas thing in general is kind of a joke. It's more of a joke to us, but some people are pretty superstitious, and I've seen it firsthand. The other day we were having a tougher trip. We had a banana on the boat, got rid of it, and all of a sudden the trip started turning around, got a little better for us. So you never know. Yeah, they're not real bananas. They're mock bananas. They're lead bananas. You can't eat them. They don't have spiders. But we have a whole bananas website page. Under the info tab, click bananas are bad luck. Josh is putting it in the chat there. Best idea I ever had, creating a banana page. And best execution Josh has had. Definitely winning team made that bananas page. So check it out. It's like the greatest thing since sliced bread for Hubbard's Marina. Since banana bread. Yeah. My grandfather would have been proud of that one. Let's see what other questions. How long is the supporter show, and are there trip giveaways? Our supporter show is generally 30 minutes to an hour. It depends. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. It all really depends on the supporters and what they want to know, what they want to talk about. If there's a lot of questions, sometimes we go down a rabbit hole and we can be there for a while. Sometimes it's short and to the point. The supporter show is kind of fast and loose, a little bit more laid back, and is really driven by the supporters. Plus, you get a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff, more communication. Are there trip giveaways? No. The supporters group is definitely a recipient of some advanced information. They get some free stuff. Last year they got a free fishing trip, free t-shirt. This year they're probably going to get some more free stuff. But the great part about the supporters group is they're not just there to win stuff. They're there because it is an awesome place to be for some serious Hubbard's Marina supporters. See, I guess that's the best way to say it. And we have a lot of fun together, and they kind of see my more relaxed, casual side. And it's a lot of fun in the supporters group. And that's as much as I will say. If you don't want to spend $4.99 and see what it's all about, you're missing out. It's $4.99 a month. So, yeah, we don't give away a bunch of free trips every week for the supporters, but we give a lot of cool stuff away in the form of a lot of love and support and one-on-one stuff and behind-the-scenes stuff. And I love the supporters group. I love them. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun in there. If you don't know, you should know. You should find out. It's worth finding out for $4.99 a month. Come on.
Yes, Jim.
What? What did Jim Evans say? Supporters love and carrot cake. Yes. We have a lot of supporters love and carrot cake and jambalaya and Malort. Don't ever drink Malort. If one of the supporters show up with Malort, run the other way. Just saying. You don't want to be. You don't want to drink Malort, period.
Give it to us. We'll take care of it.
I will throw it in the water, burn it with fire. It's terrible. Do you think about the Carolina rig? Carolina rig, fish finder rig, basically slip, egg sinker, swivel, 3 to 4, 5 foot leader, and a hook is the way to go. Definitely the only way to fish, and that's what we primarily use is the Carolina rig. So definitely like the Carolina rig to be concise. Let's see. I think it's time to give away another free trip. We got to give away a Salinity Gear gift pack. This is a Salinity Gear shirt. Could be hooded or not hooded, and long sleeve fishing shirt. So it's a long sleeve fishing shirt either with a hood on it or no hood. So let us know if you want it hooded or not hooded, and give us your full home address and your shirt size if you're picked as this lucky winner of the Salinity Gear gift pack. Let's see who the lucky winner is. Shelly Barnes from Plant City. Oh, she was at Bass Pro today. I like you, Shelly. Thanks for coming to Bass Pro today. Congratulations on the win for the Salinity Gear gift pack. Make sure, again, you guys, if you picked as a lucky winner, text us your full home address. If you're picked as a lucky winner of the Salinity Gear gift pack, text us your full home address, your shirt size, and if you want it hooded or not hooded. And there ends the reign of the dudes tonight. So we had one lady and 2 dudes, so we're spreading the love. Let's see. I am able to make it down for a 39-hour in November, coming alone, so I can do some serious fishing. I have a free 39-hour to use. Do you have a hotel within walking distance? And how far are you from the airport? So, one of our supporters has a business that can help you with the airport situation. Nick Nieves, Skyway Fishing Club. Skyway Fishing is his fishing club on Facebook. Nick Nieves runs that page, and he has a airport transportation service. So check out Nick Nieves for airport transportation. If you ever want to know where to hang out, where to party when you're in town, where to play. Oh, made it too small. Yeah, all right. Take the little sign away so they can see. Remove the sign. Yeah, thank you, sir. So if you click under the Where To tab, you can click on Where to Stay. And the Where to Stay page is going to show you the north, middle, and south areas. So obviously, if you want something within walking distance, middle is where you want to be. Bilmar is a little out of reach of walking distance, but not far. Really, really cool hotel. Got a crazy nice beachside bar. Sloppy Joe's. Really, really cool. iBeach Resort. Much closer and very well priced. Mainline, Shoreline are our best price, closest ones. Courtyard Marriott Madeira Beach is a nice location. It's right over the bridge over there by the Publix. Very new location, very beautiful, right on the water. A little bit out of walking distance, a little bit more expensive, but very, very gorgeous. And right next to two of my favorite local kind of hangouts, Angry Pepper and Slice Pizza. The Barefoot Beach, just I would say it's walking distance, very close by. Yeah, it's 5-minute walk. I would say it's more like a 8.5-minute walk. But Barefoot Beach would probably be the closest hotel. Really, really cool spot. They have a newer building and an older building, so you can kind of choose where you want to stay. And then there's South, which has some great hotels, but that's definitely not walking distance. And then, of course, you got the North, which is well out of walking distance, but some beautiful big properties. And there's a lot more on the Where To pages. Check them out. So where to stay, where to eat, where to play, where to party, all in the Where To page. So don't miss it out. Don't miss out. Did you know we had that? Have you even been on hubbardsmarina.com? You're missing out. And it's coming soon. hubbardsmarina.com 14.0. Brand new website coming at you October 1st. What?
Give me the mouse.
Oh, sorry. Moving the mouse while I'm talking. My bad, dog. Do you allow hand lining for snapper and grouper? If you book a private charter, you could hand line all you want. On the public trips, probably not a good idea. Not recommended. Yeah, I would say not recommended. Not really the greatest idea. But if you have a private charter or if you come out on a lighter load trip, potentially you never know. Is fishing under John's Pass Bridge a good spot? Yeah, I mean, the fishing under the bridge is a good area, especially at night, early morning hours. During the day, when our dock is open, you can always come fish on our dock, which is a good idea and a good fishing spot. It just kind of depends on what the tide's doing and what you're targeting. So a little bit more information, we could help you out a little bit more. We are out of time, so we're going to wrap it up there. And hopefully you'll join us again next week for another episode of the Hubbard's Marina live stream show, Off the Hook with Captain Hubbard. We're going to have another episode next week, Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Don't forget, if you're a supporter, our supporters after show will start here very shortly. Also, big shout out to our friends over at Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. If you haven't been over to check out Gator Jim's, definitely make sure you do so. Killer shop, great deals, incredible inventory, really good people, and they really, really help to make this show possible. So stop by to Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. Tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you. Check out their crazy deals, awesome inventory, and show some love for our local tackle shop. It does so much to help us out. Also, don't forget to check out Hubbard's Marina on Facebook, Instagram, Trovo, TikToks, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, Nextdoor app, Trovo, Fishbrain, Waypoint TV, and Twitch. Don't forget to like us, Snapchat, holler at us, tag us. If you come to Hubbard's Marina, check in on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all those good things. If you're not checking in when you visit Hubbard's Marina, why aren't you? Check in. Show some love. Tag your photos with the location Hubbard's Marina. Do an Instagram story. Do a Snapchat story. Tag Hubbard's Marina, guys. Why are we not trending on Snapchat? Like, literally, Hooters has more people check in at Hooters on Snapchat and Instagram. Why? There's a lot more people visiting Hubbard's Marina than Hooters. Right? I would hope so. Come on, guys. Step it up. Also, don't forget to check out the Supporters After Show if you're a supporter. Big shout out to our other friends and sponsors over at the Real Animals Fishing Show, Garmin Electronics, Yamaha Outboards, Bass Pro Shops, Engel Coolers, Salt Strong, and Aquatic Nutrition Sport Fishing Chums. Super light loads right now. Great opportunity to get out there on the water. Kids are back to school. The snow hasn't started up north. The great northern migration hasn't happened yet. So this is the time of year. If you're in town, if you're a local, if you're out of the area but are close enough to drive here, this is the time. Mackerel are showing up. Kingfish are picking up. Hogfish are moving in. Gag grouper are on the move. It's a very exciting time of year. Things have started to cool down. It's not oppressively hot anymore. Next week, highs in the mid-80s. 84 for like 3 days. Very exciting. Cooling down. Humidity is down. Fishing is hot. Loads are light. This is a very exciting time of year. I'm very energized. Hopefully you feel that. Hopefully you come out and see us. Hopefully you follow us on TikTok, Snapchat, Trovo, Twitch, LinkedIn, all those pages we're struggling with. Check out myself, Captain Dylan Hubbard, on Snapchat, on Facebook, Captain Dylan Hubbard again on, not Snapchat, on Instagram and Facebook. Follow the Captain Dylan Hubbard pages on Instagram and Facebook. And with that, I think that's everything. Oh, our Saturday morning radio shows every Saturday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Every Friday morning, 8:15 a.m., Fox 13 News. And October 11th, Bartow Ford, 6 p.m. October 16th, Sunday, 2 p.m., Bass Pro. See you there. With that, let's see who won our 39-hour trip. And then we're going to start our Supporters After Show at 9:55 on the Supporters After Show. Let's see who won the 39-hour trip for one lucky guest. 39-hour trip to Quang View. I'm going to go with Quang. Congratulations. Let me win one was the comment. And you won one, dog. Congrats. You ask and you shall receive. Thanks for watching, y'all. Tight lines. Hopefully we'll see you soon at Hubbard's Marina. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. We'll see you out there on the water and tight lines and smooth seas and following winds and all those good nautical terms. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, y'all.